take us back all the way to the beginning.
Oh,
How
wow,
early? That's a long time, and I'm asking this because you shared a little bit about it, but how early on did you know that you wanted this? You wanted to be an artist?
Oh, wow. I never really like had a moment where, okay, I decided that I wanted to be an artist. You know, it just kind of happened. Both of my parents are former national athletes, so they're, you know, they don't have any entertainment background whatsoever. But one thing that I do know is that they always taught me that whatever it is that you want to do, that, you know, you decide to do in your life, make sure that you really do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
How old were you when you dropped your first single?
6 years old.
6 years old. So you're obviously not new to the game. And I feel like to people in the US, this might be an introduction.
Right.
With everything that you've already done in Indonesia, why come here? It almost feels like you're starting all over again.
Yeah, it definitely felt like that, especially for the first 2 or 3 years. The first 2 years, yeah. But basically, when I was 19 years old, that year I won both Best Singer, Best Album, and also in acting, because I'm also an actress. So that year, I won both. And one of the press asked me, okay, Agnez, like, what else do you want in your life? And I was just like, oh, shit, like, I don't know. Like, I'm
Like, what do you mean?
Trying to live my life here. But spur of the moment, you know, I just said that I wanted to go international. I wanted to, you know, I want to win my first Grammy. And then I didn't realize that it was such a huge deal,
right.
in a bad way, actually. Like, it created such a huge controversy back then, because they thought that speaking up your dreams is arrogance.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Yeah.
And it was really not heartbreaking, but it hurt this little, you know, 19-year-old girl just trying to, like, okay, this is my dream, you know, like, I need some support. But it just molded me, you know what I mean? It molded me, and I realized that what started off as a spur of the moment, now it's actually becoming something bigger than myself, you know, something bigger than just me trying to win a Grammy or, like, you know, go international. Yeah, like, it affected people, and especially there now that I'm actually making it, like, it affected people in such you know, it's huge, you know?
Right.
So yeah.
What about your fans? Were they supportive of the movement or not?
I mean, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, especially, you know how it is with social media. Sometimes the same people can say, oh, you're amazing, but the same people can bash you the next day.
Yeah.
So I never really want to listen to the noises, you know, because they will always try to put you in, oh, like, I like you this version. I like this version of you. I don't like this version of you, this one. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, they've been rooting for me, especially my family. I think I'm pretty lucky, or if you can call it that, really fortunate and really blessed to have family who just basically tell me that it's okay for you to have big dreams. Like, it's okay for you to, even if you fail, it's okay as long as you've tried.
That's amazing.
You know?
What about, why did you decide to do R&B? Because you could have done any genre, right? But you went with R&B. Why R&B over anything else?
I grew up singing at church. So the first time I sang was at church when I was 3 years old. I grew up listening to a lot of gospel music, Kirk Franklin, Israel Houghton, and
That's
the New
so dope.
Breed, and you know, those gospel artists. And it's influenced me a lot, that I didn't even realize it until I stepped into the booth and, you know, sang or like write. And then I think the first album that kind of changed my life, you can call it that, was Brandy's album. It was her first album. I think it was in like 1994.
Nice, in the 90s.
Yeah, real music. And the first song was Moving On. And I think that's how I kind of oh man, like this is nice. Like it's got like that, balance to it. And it just kind of, became a part of me.
Were there any more musical inspirations aside from Brandy or Kirk Franklin that you were just like listening to and you're like, okay, this is dope. I like this.
I listen to a lot of music. Like I don't believe that you need to limit yourself. Like, oh, if you're an R&B singer, if you're doing urban, then you should only listen to, I mean, I listen to Enya. I listen to, you know what I mean?
Right.
And for me, it's always nice to have all these different cultures, different influences. I even listen to Indonesian traditional music, and I try to infuse that into my music as well. But one thing that I forgot to mention is that when I told you about when I was 19 and people kind of like bashed me for speaking up about my dream, I compiled this folder of all the names that I wanted to work with. Producers, songwriters,
everybody,
dancers, managers, artists that I wanted to work with. And the first page was Timbaland's name.
That's so amazing. And then you drop Coke bottle.
And then and then after that I ended up working with him and his whole team around like 2011, 2012.
Tell me, how does that come together? Because first of all, I'm really even blown away that you knew about Timbaland.
Right.
Because I feel like a lot of people sleep on his production and what he's put in the game. How does that relationship come about?
So I think in 2010, I happened to be the #1 most followed Asian artist on Twitter.
Okay.
And that time I think Instagram wasn't really popping yet. So Twitter was like the shit. And then I think they just, found me through that. And also through YouTube, because my fans in Indonesia, they've been kind of like, they have real good catalog of my performances. Actually better than me and my management.
They're on it.
Yeah. I would watch something and I'm like, how did they even have this? Like, I totally forgot that I performed there. You know what I mean?
They have like a series of documents.
But I think they've just been tagging them and just kind of like harassing them low key. Like,
so
Tim,
So did
like,
he reached out to you?
Yeah, so one of my contacts in LA reached out to me on my birthday that time.
Wow. What a
and
gift.
she knew the story too.
Okay.
So she was like, like you can't believe who just called me and they wanted to work with you. And I was like, who? Because I thought it was a prank, like it's my birthday or whatever. Timbaland's camp just reached out to me. And I was like, girl, if you try to, joke around with me right now, it's not the time, because this is not funny. But she was like, no, like they reached out to us and they wanted you to they want you to fly out to Miami, and then I said, well, let me check my schedule.
Oh, I'm busy these days.
No. I fly out the next day. No, of course not. What are you talking about? It's Timbaland. So I fly out the next day. Maybe like not the next day, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it was like the first starstruck ever, right? Because like he just came into the room and he's
deep voice.
Egg, you know what I mean? Like with the little,
hey,
sub egg, and I was like, sup, Tim? It's like, just kind of like a little girl who's.
That's amazing. What did he give you any like career advice that you like held on to?
He doesn't really talk that much.
He doesn't.
First of all, he doesn't really talk that much. I think he talks through the pad.
He's like,
the
look.
music. Like, he doesn't really talk that much. But one thing that I learned from that whole experience is that I always questioned myself when I was being too meticulous, because sometimes people would look at you like, this is already good, Ag. And I was like, no, like, I'm hearing something that's off,
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I question myself, like, am I being like too much now? Am I being too meticulous?
Right.
Too detailed oriented? And then in that studio, Tim was like a whole different level of
meticulous.
He's
like, wait, my standards are up
literally,
here.
I thought that I'm like, you know what I mean? I thought I was crazy, but no, like he's down to the T, like every single thing he hears. So that kind of like, just teaches me a lot. You should just be comfortable if you think that that's off. If you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Then you should just say it.
Follow your gut.
Yeah, exactly. Follow your gut. It's fine to be meticulous.
Jumping forward, we drop Overdose with Chris Brown. You guys teased us a lot. I was like, oh yeah, they're definitely going out. Look at them. They're way too close. Like, come on, look at all these pictures. Now we know that you're not together.
Yeah.
Right? Confirming that. Overdose drops. How does that relationship with you and Chris Brown even build? Because I feel like that came out of nowhere.
I mean, we've been following each other on social media for a few years, even before that happened, and then he's familiar with my music as well, and I'm familiar, obviously, with his music, and we just never really had the time to sit down in a studio to play our music, because even before that we've met, but it's like a location, like we were shooting, so there wasn't really a time for us to let's just do this
like one-on-one.
Exactly. And finally we decided to do that, and he had the idea of putting me on his deluxe album on purpose. That's the name of the song. And we just kind of, I don't know, like vibe out. You know, we listened to a lot of beats, and we just kept writing. We just kept writing, and at that time, we didn't even think about putting those out. We were just focused on it. You know what I mean? Like we just focused on the music. There was I think that's why it's so authentic, because it was about the art. It was about the music, and that's what I love. That's what I miss from, especially I've been in the business for so long. Like I see how it, you know what I mean? Like the trend is different, right? It's how like in and out, and I just miss that. I just miss where people just make music just for music.
Would you and Chris Brown have like dance-offs? Because you know how to dance pretty well. Would you learn from him? You know what I told Chris? I was like, you should really do like open it up to your fans and do like some type of like dance instruction class or something.
You know what's crazy is that when we talked about the music video, he was actually the one telling me to direct the music video.
Okay.
I thought he would do it because he's also, like he directs all of his music videos. And he was like, no, girl, like I've watched you directing all of your music videos. You should do this one. And I wrote a treatment or whatever, and then he liked it. Like we wanted to make sure that it wasn't just about, Chris Brown and Agnez Mo, but it's just about two people in love. You know what I mean? Like it goes back to that. And when he read the treatment, he was like, where is the dance scene?
Like it's missing.
Where's the dance scene? And I was like, well, I didn't know that you wanted to dance, here
it's
with
Chris
me
Brown,
on Overdose.
come on.
But he said, no, you have to show people that you can dance too, Ag.
Yeah.
So it's just cool because it was a collaboration. You know what I mean? Like it was real honest. If he doesn't like something, like he would tell me if I don't like something, I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling that. Like it was just real honest, and there was no deadline. That's what's so cool about it. There was no deadlines. There was no, we should drop it in the fourth quarter. We should drop it in the second quarter. It's just real authenticity of real music.
I like that. Talking about real music, let's get into the album.
Right.
Okay, because I asked your fans on Twitter, what are the questions you have for Agnez?
Oh my God.
And the first thing that came out is, when is that album dropping? They want to know.
We have...
You don't like deadlines, but your fans do. They're over here waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. They harass me
Pressure.
every day, actually. So we have two projects, right? Like one is solo project and one is the duet album. The duet album is done. It's mixed, mastered, everything. My solo project, I've recorded over 50 to 60 songs.
Oh my goodness.
And now it's just actually getting down to narrowing everything down to only probably like 8 to 12 songs.
Okay.
But I would hope to have my single out, the next single, just my solo single, in probably February.
Do you have a name for this single? Come on, give us some details here. He's like, get him out of the room, somebody, please. He's interrupting this.
We absolutely do have even the album title. We got it down. Everything's done. But yeah, let's just talk about it later.
What else can your fans expect on this album? Any more collaborations?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we've done that, and you know how it is with music business. Like you just kind of go into the studio and have these all the featurings and everything. But at the end of the day, I have to sit down with my management and label to which songs are gonna make the cut.
Okay.
But until now, I've collaborated with Wisin.
Wow.
He's amazing, by
Getting
the way.
into reggaeton.
He just killed it. And Luda, and Danger. So hopefully there will be more.
Your fans also want to know, are there going to be any ballads on this album?
Oh my God,
I told them I would
ask me that. They always ask me like, oh, how about the ballad? I think there will be, but I mean, we'll see. Maybe we have to put a little extra sauce in it.
Throw it in for them.
Yeah.
What is the best and worst part about being Agnez Mo?
The worst part, I go straight to the worst part.
Hey, let's get that one out of the way. I like that.
The worst part is that, again, because I released my first single when I was 6, and I've been kind of like under the spotlight ever since. I never really had the privilege of having first impression, because like people already thought, oh, Agnez must be this, or Agnez must be that. And until I moved to the US, actually. So it was actually kind of like a good, like a great start. Because then people can actually look at me, talk to me, know me, and then make conclusion.
Right.
But in Indonesia, I've never really had that privilege. And I dealt with a lot of bullshit since, really early, such an early age, and it becomes a part of you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you've seen a lot of things that people would do at such an early age, and sometimes like you weren't quite ready for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you weren't quite ready because
you're like,
you
what
were
are you
just
even saying
like,
to me?
like you were just, I don't know, 13, 14 years old when all these other people, probably 20 years older than you, bashing you. You know what I mean? But I always find the silver lining on everything. I feel like it molds me into becoming who I am right now. I've become mentally ready so much faster.
Right.
I think that's the good part of it,
I like that.
because I've dealt with bullshit at such an early age.
What
And
advice?
see right through it too. And he knows that. Like my management knows it. Like I would see right through bullshit, and I don't have time for that.
Good. And you shouldn't take it from anyone.
Absolutely.
What advice would you tell your younger self?
Whew. That it's okay to be fragile. That you don't have to be strong for everybody all the time. And I think that's I've learned that the hard way so many times, even until right now, like people still, it's always like that. I mean, it's the business, you know what I mean? It's entertainment business, right? Like people always like it. People always like it or find it entertaining when you're down.
Right.
So that's a business. But I would absolutely say that to my younger self. It's okay to not figure it out. You don't have to be strong all the time for everybody because like I always look at myself. I always have like my dancers, my band, my management, and I always like put this pressure on me like I have to be strong for them.
Right.
Because if I go down, then they would feel, you know what I mean? It's kind of like you're there. And then if you fall down, then everybody's just gonna crumble down with you. So I've always put that pressure on me. And sometimes it's not healthy, you know, because you don't learn to be okay when of not being okay.
We appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for being so real, so talented.
Thank
One
you.
more time, give it up for Agnez Mo.
Thank you so much, guys.
Once again, my name is Ayyde. You can catch me every single morning inside of Big Boy's Neighborhood. You guys were joining us here at Real 92.3 in the AT&T Sound Studio. Thank you so much.